These are the rules around giveaways and quartering kind of fucked up. Well, and now he's quietly not mentioning that part about YouTube and liking and subscribing on his quarter cast.
Wow. Very, very, very fun.
Unfortunate, man. Let's see.
I love it, and you know, that's the positive, and it's always the positive behind the scenes, but the fact that I might lose my fucking house over something that I have nothing whatsoever control.
Would I marry Prime Melanie if she was a trad Christian back and not used goods? I'd have to see what she looked like back in the day.
Over what to do with. That's the worst feeling.
That's a big ask, I don't know.
They're probably telling his spicy language. Well, it's probably because he's gay, so they probably have a bunch of swear words relating to that, right? Well, you know, we'll see what happens. Fucking gay. It's so bad. It's so badly made. Crumble Cookies will tag. Months ago, I said I either wanted to do Crumble Cookies or what was the other one? Crave Cookies. They're very similar businesses in my area.
Dude, Crumble Cookies are like literal diabetes. That's it.
Yeah.
Those things are nasty.
And I was down for it, but then a lot of people started to complain and say, this isn't what they wanted. Why am I doing it if no one wants it? And then someone actually threatened me and says that if I go to one of these cookie places, they're going to show up and beat me up.
Bruh.
Now, obviously, that was fake, and, you know, no one's ever going to do that. The people who fucking say this stuff online are insanely, you know, cowardly wimps who just hide online. That's who they are. That's why they say this kind of stuff. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. I'm going to find out who the fuck you are. Yes, Young Cole, anyone who supports me gets people harassing them, whether it's video comments, whether it's social media posts, whatever it is, just ignore it. The best way to handle online nonsense from morons is just ignore it completely, and then they go away because they have no response. What it is they're trying to goad you into a response because then they feel like they got some attention because they have no attention in their real life. So this is how they feel like they have some kind of worth or meaning. So if you just ignore them, they go away. If you respond and engage, they won't go away. They'll keep bothering you. Well, look who's back. Now, I already said this before and they didn't answer, so I'm going to publicly ask this right now. To this person who donated all this support yesterday, are you going to abide by the rules as is required like everyone else? Meaning you don't insult me, you don't insult others, and you're actually a positive force for the stream. Because if you're going to sit here and you're going to start spewing insults, I'm just going to ban you right now and save us all the time. Your money doesn't buy you immunity to act like an asshole here on the stream. So are you going to behave or do I ban you right now? So that way we can just focus on the game because I've already had enough. Really? Well, they said I'm sorry. Are you sincere? All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you gave me $10. But I'll warn you right now, your money doesn't buy you immunity to act like an asshole here on the stream. If you act up, I'm going to be very upset, and I'm going to waggle my finger at you like this on the stream. And that is a very, very serious matter. Let me tell you something. All right?
Oh, my God.
All right, well, and for the record, everyone thinks that this guy, PPP's 600-pound gun, everyone thinks this is,
I think DSP has slept around more than we know in his prime. A bunch of girls knew who he was, and he had money. I don't think so. Because when he was famous, it was for being an asshole. The only woman that actually, like, really was a genuine fan of him was Panda Lee. Which he waited until she was just barely legal. And then they basically moved in together and started banging. So, I don't know. Like, right when Panda Lee turned 18, they started, you know, hooking up and shit, so. And he was, like, 30, I think, at the time. Nah, I think, Phil was always awkward, is this thing. And he was very unlikable. But he was funny.
The guy on a sock account, like, literally everyone, not only detractors, but, like, everyone, fans, everyone believes that it's ICS. But you got to abide by the rules. The moment that I see you breaking the rules, that's it. The wrath of God shall be struck upon you. All right. Rock Bottom Podcast did a $5 super chat and says if they can't charge back, then just take the money. People don't have to read it. Well, again, I understand that. You're right. You're absolutely right. And the thing is, I want people to understand that my streams are my place of business.
It says on the address, Phil Burnell, DSP Gaming. Now, wait a minute. I have never had a registered business, meaning DSP Gaming, my YouTube channel, even though it's trademarked, I do trademark it. It's never been a registered business.
All right. And it needs to have a working, safe environment. We can't have a place where people think that they can do whatever they want because they're throwing money around. The rules apply to everyone. Everyone needs to be safe. Everyone needs to be treated equally here. No favors, none of that nonsense where, oh, I bought my way into favor and shit like that. That doesn't fly here. All right. So it's that simple. If I see it, you're gone. Just like everybody else. Okay. Everyone should be treated the same. So let's see what happens today. They just apologized. They said, I'm sorry. So let's see. Literally the entire group of people, and you know how many people watch my fucking streams and everything. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to have an eye on this guy and see what he says today. Fox McFox at a $5 super chat says he already broke the rules. He said every detractor meme in chat yesterday, but money gives him a pass. No, I just asked him outright, called him out, and he apologized. What would you like me to do? Put his balls on the coals? Should I have him walk up on broken glass? You know, he said he's sorry, so let's see if he's for real. Shout outs. There's one final thing I will say. It's a running thing that I've been saying for many years. I'll say it again this morning, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, money talks. Money
What do I do?
talks. Now, guys, please support the stream. Right now, we are at 41 bucks of support out of the 150 goal. We still have 2.5 hours left, but momentum.
Lost soul aside is great. Y'all are gay. Enjoy your China slob, man.
Has completely stalled. We haven't had much support at all. All right. Please, let's get some for GTA. There you go. The Blimp says, same thing happened to me. You're completely right. You ignore it. Make sure you have no socials attached to your YouTube account or anything public. These people are crazy. They came at me a couple years ago because I enjoy a streamer. They don't. It's crazy behavior. That's right. You put nothing on the internet, because if you do, if you get one crazy asshole, one who is obsessed with you, who doesn't like you for some reason, it doesn't even have to be a good reason. They could just be crazy. You have given them an insane wealth of information that they can now use to mess with your life. Maybe 99.9% of people on the planet would never care and ignore you, but there may be one asshole or one crazy idiot. Okay? That's what you got to be careful of. And I know, well, that's paranoia. No, it's not paranoia. It's reality. It's just that we were in the internet's infancy when all these things started being created, this Facebook and all this shit. Now, 20 years later, now we have an entire generation of fucked up people who are doing messed up things on the internet, and people are getting shocked. Oh, this is happening to me. That's happening to me. Yeah, because we didn't prepare ourselves for this digital age of like chaos and harassment. We didn't.
That's right. We need state mandated ID enforcement. We need the Chinese facial tracking software that they employ to make sure that the person who's logged into the phone is actually the one using it. It also monitors how much time you spend on the phone and tracks every single keystroke, so even if you didn't send the message, it still knows what you were going to send. Yeah, we need WeChat ASAP for a more secure and prosperous streaming environment.
There's not even people who are monitoring stuff to stop it, right? Like, there's no cops you can call to get that to stop. They can just do it and get away with it. So, do yourself a huge favor if you're watching this right now. Make sure if you're on the internet and you're doing anything public, you have an online game account, you have a chat account on YouTube or on Kick or on Twitch, you use Instagram, you use X, whatever it is, do not put your real life information in it. Do not link it to anything that can be tied to you, your name, your address, where you work, your friends, your relatives. You have to separate. Because these people are fucking nuts. They're not like you and me. They don't have lives. They just sit there on the internet. That's their life. Is their virtual self is their self all the time. And to them, to get a rise out of someone is exactly what they need to feel like they lived today. Otherwise, they don't.
Pokimane is almost 30. She should cash out and do OnlyFans. Why? She already has money, bro. The only reason women do OnlyFans is because they're broke and they have nothing else going for them. Pokimane already has money. She doesn't need to do OnlyFans. Women don't become whores because they're, like, you know, just wanting money. They become whores because they don't have any other option. They have nothing to offer. Pokimane makes more money probably being a heckin' wholesome girl streamer at this point because she's super brand safe.
Exist. So let me fuck with people today, and as soon as they respond and they post in a chat that they got harassed, I feel good about myself. That's how broken these people are. And it's not one or two. There is a generation of people that are now being raised like this, okay? We have to be very careful now. Us normal people... frog in my throat. Have to be very careful about how we behave on the internet, all right? So... I apologize that any kind of crazy shit would ever happen to anyone who watches my content, to anyone who has supported my content, and I appreciate that you did support. But now is the time to be careful, vigilant, and to not give them what they want. The moment you even bring it up in a public setting, you've given them exactly what they wanted, attention. What happened? Oh my God!
I hope she heard that, Griff, you simp. That's right. Pokey, my goddess. Never lower yourself to OnlyFans. You're too good for it. allow me to give you 50% of my income for the rest of my pitiful, worthless existence so I may bask in your divine glow, knowing that my money is being spent by those who truly deserve it. Dude, it is not brand safe to be an OnlyFans whore. Do you really think companies like fucking, I don't know, she works with like all the high, like Louis Vuitton and all that type of shit. Do you really think Louis Vuitton and like fucking Gucci and all these high-end fashion companies want to work with an internet whore? No. There has to be a level of prestige and glamour and luxury. You don't want to be associated with prostitutes. There's a reason why strippers don't transition into becoming models, because models represent brands. You don't want to have a prostitute representing your brand. So, no, you're not going to get the same opportunities if you're an OnlyFans whore for mainstream brands. Do you think Nintendo would contact an OnlyFans whore and be like, hey, do a stream promoting the Nintendo Switch 2. We'll send you a console early. We'll give you $50,000. You know, do a 5-hour dedicated stream playing Mario Kart with your friends. Blah, blah, blah. Of course they're fucking not going to do that. Pokimane is the brand-safe gamer girl Twitch personality that companies can throw products at in order to promote to her audience, because she's brand safe. She doesn't say anything too outlandish. She doesn't have any like actual, you know, adult content out there. So she's safe to be consumed by most children. She's brand friendly and overall not an offensive personality. The second you add prostitution to the mix, that goes out the fucking window.
I accidentally grazed the Y button. I'm serious. I accidentally, as I was moving and aiming, I just accidentally like tapped Y and he flew out of the helicopter. I gotta do the whole mission over. You've got to be kidding me. I've got to do the whole mission over now with no ammo. What the fuck? Gee, thanks for the great checkpoint. And also no body armor. I have no ammo and no body armor. What a fucking stupid game. Oh, stupid fucking game. Okay.
I lost the man that Robert was dead!
I can't stand this shit.
Dana White collaborated with that OnlyFans chick. So yes, Griffin, yes, they... Okay. In what capacity? What OnlyFans chick? Is he paying her to be the face of UFC? Also, UFC is not exactly what I would consider to be that much above, like, that industry. It was just for a giveaway? Okay, yeah, exactly. Dude, UFC literally has fucking strippers in the ring. They have the ring girls, which everybody knows are massive whores anyway, so... UFC is barely a step above prostitution on the morality scale. So, it's not exactly high-class entertainment.
Dimitri got away.
Quality merchandise. Thank you.
Oh, guys, forget it. I'm serious. I'm not doing it. I'm done. I can't do it. I don't have ammo to do it. I'm done. I had no idea that was going to happen. Fuck this. We're just going to play the DLC. I'm serious. I'm not going to waste an hour doing this mission. This is stupid. Completely dumb. I didn't fuck it up. The game is just being stupid. Fuck this. Let's go. I'm serious. Just cancel this fucking ending. Go watch the ending for the other 2 times I beat the fucking game, and we'll go do the DLC. This is delaying bullshit. I'm just not wasting time on it anymore. I'm not. Because what just happened is not supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is you go into that courtyard and you fight them and you chase Dimitri and you have a showdown. The cops aren't supposed to alert like that. So the cops randomly alerted out of nowhere, and then it fucked the mission up. There was no way. I had no hell. There was no way I was going to get through all of those cops and then get to Dimitri. I was going to die. So I'm fucked. The only way you can do this, you have to have full armor, full health, full ammo on everything, and do one perfect run all the way through without having issue. So by me using the helicopter guns, which is a trick you don't need to ever use them, and to actually accidentally graze Y, that's it. There's no point. I've already seen the fucking ending a million times. I'm not doing it. I'm serious. I'm putting my foot down. The ending is stupid because it's glitchy like that. You have dumb things that happen, and you got to redo the whole mission from the start. I want to see the fucking DLC, and I'm tired of waiting. Fuck it, next game. I'm sorry that the last mission is messed up. We did half an hour. I'm done. I want to do the DLC today. I'm not wasting any more time on it. Seriously. I've beaten it twice on camera. I've probably beaten this 10 times total. I'm not wasting time on this mission because they fucked it up and it's wonky. All right? All right. So, it's not me. It's the game.
All right.
You understand what I'm trying to say to you now? This is the state of the industry at this point. Oh, really? A verified YouTuber just came in and asked me to drink pool water? How about I report you to YouTube for telling someone to harm themselves on YouTube? You think they're going to like your verified status after I showed that you said that on YouTube? Oh. You think YouTube likes verified members telling other people to harm themselves?
Bro, Trump was also on the cover of fucking Playboy. That does not mean anything. Trump was literally on the cover of Playboy magazine back in the day. Just because you're friends, like, you guys are missing the point. Is a fucking company like Coca-Cola that appeals to families and children and religious people and all walks of life going to hire a prostitute? No. Is a fucking company that involves, extreme violence, half-dressed women, and caters to a young male audience gonna hire a prostitute? Probably. Because that's the target demographic. You're missing the point. You're missing the point of what I'm trying to say. You're getting caught up in the autistic. Well, actually, there's this one-off instance that I can point to. No, do you really think fucking Lena Rhodes and Riley Reid are going to get a fucking ad spot for Disney World? Do you really think they're going to be the new face of fucking, I don't know, Apple? Do you think Apple's going to hire Riley Reid to promote the new iPhone? Of course fucking not. You're missing the point. Nintendo is not going to reach out to literal whores and get them to promote the Switch 2. Why do I know so many whores' names? Oh my god, I named 2. So many, bro. Literally, I can barely count that high.
It'll be interesting. Want to see what happens? Because I have it right here on screen. I can capture it. I can send it right to them. How'd you like that? You're going to come in my stream and say dumb shit like that? How about you kiss my ass? What's wrong with pool water? There's chlorine in it. It's poison. If you drink pool water, you can die. You're not supposed to drink pool water. Oh, and he has 1.9 million subs? Oh. That's really good. You really want to play with fire. You come to my channel and say shit like that to me. Wow. It's the most fucked up, disrespectful, pussy shit a person could possibly do, and I will never, ever respect someone who ever acts like that, ever on this planet. All right, come on, that's it. Now, we're going hardcore into it. Let's hit the goal. We're at 116. I'm about to turn the stream off. How do we get that far and we're not going to hit the goal? We want to hit the goal so we can do DSP tries at Katsu Burger this week. Let's get some support right now. Let's get a sub on Kick, a super chat, and a tip, and a membership. Let's go.
We want this.
Come on. And it doesn't have to be giant. Just a little bit on each. We can hit this goal right now. We absolutely legit can. I'll case in point. One person contribute right now. Go ahead. Anything. And I'll show you. We'll hit this goal. All right, come on. So no one. We're not going to get that one contribution to get the momentum going.
Because they have a similar speech cadence. DSP and Ben Shapiro sound very similar. because they are both Jewish. It's entirely possible. Yeah, dude, the Super Bowl brought to you by Blacked.com. The halftime show will be 3 fucking petite white women getting railed by 5 massive BBCs. Stay tuned to watch who comes first. Only here on ESPN. That's a cute dog, but it's probably just clickbait. It's probably not even in the video. Serious question, how is BBC a category? Because dudes are cocks. Men have been mind cucked into literally craving porn with big dicks. It's very weird, but yeah, that's what happens. It's a depraved, degenerate format of entertainment, if you can call it entertainment. But yeah, men have basically become mind cucked. And they want to watch as big of a penis as possible fuck these chicks. It's weird, man. Thanks for sharing that, PK. That's so thoughtful of you, man. I am not reading your comment out loud. What you do with your own imagination is up to you, PK. I will not be indulging. Saw a TikTok of a white blonde teen crying because her parents grounded her for talking. Or wait, falling in love with a different skin color man. Everyone was saying based parents, so maybe not all. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. The Jewish propaganda is falling apart in real time, so... I mean, even the Israelis are sounding the alarm over the race mixing propaganda because they're worried that all these Jewish women and Jewish men are, you know, race mixing. So even the Israelis are complaining about race mixing in Israel. Like, it's becoming a problem over there, too. So the propaganda is too effective. So they're getting worried now. Like, here, let's see if I can find it. I might have to find it on Twitter. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to find it on Twitter. Give me a second. I can find it. Yeah, here it is. All right. This is just one example that I can find real quick. I pulled this one up before.
Was Colombian, and she's like really. So my girlfriend though is Colombian, and she's like really fine and stuff. But also I'm like, what do I do?
What do you do?
Is it worth it?
It's a challenge, but I guarantee you Hashem's going to give you something a lot greater.
Before I was religious, I was in the exact same situation as that guy. I was dating a girl who was not Jewish, and everything seemed okay. The only problem was I knew that if I married her, my children would not be Jewish. And I did one of the hardest things that I ever had to do in my entire life, which was break up with her. But I could tell you today that I am so happy with my decision because I have a beautiful Jewish wife. I have 5 beautiful Jewish children. Today in the Jewish community, intermarriage is becoming a plague, and we have to stop it. We have to be strong with our friends, with our family, and encourage them to marry.
Intermarriages is becoming a plague. Bro just said that race mixing is a plague. Based, amen, preach. I totally agree. I totally agree. But I have a feeling that because I'm white, you're going to tell me I'm a bad guy for saying that, okay? And fuck you for that.
Hold on. It was the ADL. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Here's the other one I was thinking of, too. This is the head of the ADL, which, you know, is one of the main propaganda wings of the Israelis. Here's Greenblatt voicing concerns of rising intermarriage rates for Jews. At the same time, the ADL lists no race mixing as a white supremacist concept. The truth is, like most political Zionists, Greenblatt operates as a white supremacist. He's not mainstream. He's a big, but here.
But like, this is why we need a revolution in our community on so many levels. So look, the reality is that intermarriage rates continue to go up. Assimilation continues apace. And look, I fight anti-Semitism. That is my job. Right. But I worry a great deal about broader questions of Jewish identity, as I think we talked about over lunch. But like, this is why we...
Oy vey. So, yeah, it's pretty ironic, man. So they're even worried about the propaganda at this point. They can't taint the bloodline of God's chosen people, obviously. So that's also one of the reasons why a lot of people think they're easing off the pressure on all that, is because, you know, they finally have their, you know, Jewish ethno-state, but now it's at risk of disappearing because they're all intermarrying with the goys instead of each other. I mean, it's almost like an admission that a country and a nation is successful when you have a, I don't know, homogenous, similar population that shares a common racial, cultural, ethical, and cultural background. But hey, what do I know? Just like America, Israel's just an idea, right? Griffin should be happy he has more chances at living out his fetish of getting a Jewish. Hey, I would fold for a hot Jewish chick. I've already said this. I'm just doing my part. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, the propaganda stuff works as long as the internet's, you know, not a thing. But once you lose control of the means of distributing information, then you start to lose your grasp on everything else. Kazar Milkers for the win. Absolutely, man. You know, let me get one of those IDF baddies. Yeah, exactly. And right-wingers have played right into their fucking hand, man. Right-wingers would have basically played into their hand perfectly. The plan all along is to get all these nations to become sympathetic to the Palestinians so that the Israelis can mass deport them out of Gaza. And now you have a bunch of right-wing retards that for the past 2 years have been simping over the Palestinians. A bunch of left-wing retards who have been simping over the Palestinians. Well, now you've given free license to all Western nations to mass import fucking Palestinian refugees so that the Israelis no longer have to fucking deal with them. And now you get to deal with these wonderful people you were so concerned about being genocided. But what you'll come to find out is there's plenty to go around. More than enough to go around. More than you could ever want. You know, it's almost like it's probably the most ineffective genocide in human history. Where did these millions of people come from? I thought they were all dead. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. It's like this. I forgot who said it, but it was a good point. It's like, you know, let's say that, you know, the Jews run everything, right? If they were good stewards of the places that they ran, nobody would care. Like, let's say the United States is completely owned, operated, and run by, like, Jewish people, right? If they did a good job at running the country, would anyone actually give a fuck? Like, if we had secure borders, low crime, a moral and not degenerate society, you know, our economy was doing well, people could find jobs, like, would anyone fucking care? Like, if it's a Jewish person or a white person running the country, if we actually had a good fucking condition that we were living in? So that's the reality. It's like, if they weren't trying to push all this shit like fucking globalism and open borders and fucking DEI and degenerate shit, LGBT propaganda, like, if none of that shit was happening, I don't think anybody would give a shit. So that's just the reality. So they need to come to grasp with that reality. That as long as you try and push this degenerate, disgusting, you know, modernist cultural bullshit, you will never be truly accepted. No, the solution that nobody wanted to hear from the very beginning, which is what I said, is the best case scenario is Israel just goes in and wipes out Gaza. Because we won't have to deal with the refugees. The problem goes away for good. It's their own country. They should handle it internally, as is their right as a sovereign nation. But we shouldn't be paying for it, and we shouldn't be involved. You know? What happens in another country's borders is their business, not ours. So the optimal outcome would have been if the Israelis just went in, cleaned house, took over the area, and we all moved the fuck on with our lives. So that's the facts of the scenario. And it's the, you know, ugly truth, like, oh, that's so heartless. It's like, same thing would have happened in Ukraine. If we would have backed the fuck off, let Putin just go in, take Ukraine, more people would have been alive today. On both sides. So, this whole resistance shit, like, in either case, it's an unwinnable fight. Ukraine can never defeat Russia, and the fucking Palestinians can never defeat Israel. It's just a fact. It's not an opinion. It's not a, oh, well, if we help them, they could... No. No. It's an unwinnable fight. In either case, they should have just surrendered. And that is the reality. Because more Ukrainians would have been alive, more Palestinians would have been alive. But, you know, that's not profitable. Because that's what it's all about, is money, so. Oh, Russia's definitely holding back, man. Russia is definitely holding back. And yeah, the Israelis could flatten Gaza in a weekend if they wanted to. So. What's stopping them? Optics, basically. Ukraine and Russia have avoided taking the fight to the air. Biggest stuff they've used. Yeah, Russia's basically just bombarded from a distance. And have y'all heard the updated casualty numbers? It's like insanely bad for Ukraine. Hold on. Let's see. Why can I not find it? Dude, I genuinely fucking hate Google. Like, this was part of the summit they just did in Alaska, where they agreed upon the, yeah, all I can find is, oh, study says. It's like, yeah, I don't fucking care what your study says. It's bullshit. Let's see. They literally agreed upon it with NATO as part of the summit, so. Alright, I gotta find it on Twitter again. Jeez, this is so irritating, man. I literally remember seeing this shit, and all I can find is, like, people quoting CNN and all this other bullshit. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. It's probably being fucking suppressed on this shit. Yeah, I don't know. It's so fucking irritating. Because, like, part of their, you know, agreement to meet was to, like, formalize statistics of the war related to casualties and all this other shit. And, of course, it's probably been buried by, you know, our overlords. Yeah, the last time I checked, the Russians aren't dragging people out of their fucking homes in order to shove them out to the front lines. So... Well, the thing is, you know, we can send Ukraine all these fucking tanks and shit. None of them know how to use it. That's the thing. Is all the people that were trained on how to use the tanks and everything are dead. So... But yeah, I think the number was like 20-1 or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was. It was like 28-1 Ukrainians per Russian. So it's like the Russians are killing 28 people per person in Ukraine, essentially, is the stat. And I can't find it because, of course, you can't find it because it doesn't fit the message. But yeah, basically, the Ukrainian male population has been completely eradicated. They are now conscripting women, teenage boys, and elderly men. They're having to go somewhere. They're not just vanishing into thin air. So, go fight for Ukraine? Fuck that. The Chinese have never engaged in war. That's the other thing, too. I mean, look what happened with that, y'all saw this, right? This is how organized the Chinese military is.
On this episode of What's Going On with Shipping, air cushion things, making maneuvers, pursuing. Is this vessel Philippine Coast Solana? This is the.
Oh, fuck off, dude. Just show the video. Holy shit, man. Why can people just not show the fucking video? No one needs your shitty commentary, dog. You're not adding anything to the conversation. I wanted to find the GoPro footage. Yeah, here we go. I have it. This is just some random little Filipino, like, Coast Guard boat. Like, it's tiny. And they're being pursued by the Chinese Coast Guard as well. And then here comes the Chinese Navy. I mean, you could definitely say that it fits the bill for Asian drivers, but yeah. This is how organized the Chinese Navy is. They've never actually engaged in any war in their entire history. That's the thing, is the U.S., we know how to fight a war. The Chinese don't. They've never done it. So... Also, the average Chinese person is not capable of strategic thinking. They're just like worker drones, and they've been programmed that way from a young age. So all you have to do is take out command, and they're done. Oh, the whole front of the ship was crunched. Here, look. The whole front of the ship basically crunched off. That's why they're shooting that water out, because it's breached into the hull. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Because this is what the Chinese do in the South China Sea. Is, you know, it's technically international waters, but they try to assert their dominance over the entire region. Because China has been trying to expand their nautical territory for decades now. with these patrols chasing off foreign ships. And essentially this Filipino, I guess Coast Guard vessel was patrolling the South China Sea in international waters, and the Chinese try and bully all the other ships out of the area by, pulling them aside, taking the people on board and harassing them and shit like that in order to assert dominance over the area. And the Filipinos outmaneuvered them, and they ended up crunching 2 of their fucking ships together. So, China #1 in nautical accidents.
Talaga kaming mamanggain. Pero hindi lang kami mahabol. Nagpapabala na itong crew nitong aming sinasakyan na PRP Suluan na mukhang talagang babangkay na kami itong PLA Navy ship. Mas agresibo na ngayon itong PLA Navy ship sa paghabol sa amin. Nakikita naman dun sa deck nitong PLA Navy ship na hinahabol at hinahanda talaga ng kanyang crew yung mga panangga doon sa gilid ng barko.
But yeah, that's how effective the Chinese military is. They've never actually fought a real large-scale war. They don't have the capacity to transport their troops, and on top of that, their technology is decades behind ours. They still don't have true stealth. We do. And we've had it for decades. So, if our known technology is that much better than the Chinese's, Lord only knows how much better the technology that nobody knows about is. That's what they get when they don't send their best. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, it's like a lot of people think China is like this super ominous threat, militarily, and they're the closest threat that we have, but the US could still reasonably take them out with little to no problem if we fully mobilize the entire might of our military. Then it would not even be a competition. Not to mention they have kind of a shaky population in the west, did I say that right? Yeah, the western part of the country. So, areas like Mongolia and Western China have zero interest in being, slaves to the CCP if they were given the opportunity to, get that lick of rebellion underneath them. And the problem is, too, is most of China's population is all stuck in cities, which means most of them don't really have practical skills of any, real capacity. They're also extremely reliant on a supply chain to feed the vast majority of its population. And they are mass net importers when it comes to food and other necessity items. They don't grow enough food for themselves. So, If anything, their, you know, population is their greatest asset, but also their biggest liability, because it's so heavily concentrated and it's so heavily reliant on external food sourcing that you could basically, I mean, it's like any major city, in all honesty. It basically becomes a massive prison camp where people don't have any food, water, or means to provide for themselves. You're basically just stuck. Big cities turn into liabilities very fucking quick because they don't offer any strategic value at all when, you know, shit hits the fan. It's not like back in the medieval days where everybody ran inside the castle and they were protected by the massive walls and everything like that. That's completely irrelevant now. So big cities are more of a liability. You're better off going off into the countryside because at least you could find food, water, shelter, and you'd be reasonably safe because you're, you know, spread out. But you'll take the Chinese chick and the bunny. I don't know, man. You could do better. Don't sell yourself short. That ain't nothing special. If you had to choose, you'd go Russian? Yeah. Well, dude, Russian women are, you know, genuinely, like, I would say close to 10 out of 10 territory. Like, the average Russian chick is drop dead gorgeous compared to the average Asian chick. So it's not even close. It's not even close, dude. Why are Russian women so hot? They're white, but nah. I don't know, bro. There's something about Slavic women where they're just very attractive on average. Usually tall, skinny, and have like a good facial structure. So, tall and skinny is always attractive in my book. So, hold on. I looked it up. Apparently, this is what the average Russian looks like. So you have male and female, but we're only focused on women. So, like, based off of, you know, the average, like, phenotype, that's what the average Russian woman looks like. And this is what the average Japanese woman looks like. There you go. But yeah, Japanese women are definitely the most attractive Asian women. For sure, but... So that's your comparison, I guess. I don't know how accurate these are, but... It's something. There you go. I guess the question is, which way, Western men? Because it's just it's like an AI compilation thing. Basically, it took a bunch of, like, different women and it, like, averaged out all their facial features. And this is what it arrived on. So it, like, took a compilation of, you know, X number of women from each country. And it used, like, AI to, you know, construct the average face based off of all the varying facial features. So it looks blurry on the hair because it's just AI reconstruction. So what you're looking at is the facial features. That's the important part. So it's just supposed to be like an average. The thing you'd really want to look at is the teeth, though. That would make a big difference. That would make a big difference. But yeah, Russian AI generated chick would be considered mid IRL. I don't know about that, man. That's pretty attractive. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, what would you expect otherwise? Like, if that's average, that's very attractive for average. Like, you got to keep that in mind. This is not like the top 30%, the top 40%. This is a combination of the bottom 50 and the top 50. So you have all the ugly characteristics mixed in there too. So, I don't know. I would not describe that as mid, personally, overall. Compared to most women you see nowadays, especially in the U.S., that is definitely not mid. I don't know, bro. That's mid. This chick is mid. That, to me, is mid. Got the pig nose, buck teeth, fake lips, Ugly ass makeup, fake titties, mid. Very, very mid. Probably sub mid. This is definitely mid. Shit, I probably should hop off, guys. It's almost 8 o'clock. Damn. I got to sign on to work and shit. So, have a wonderful Wednesday. And I'll talk to everybody later. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.